Topondruf, El Pandru Kuperna. Divine guidance, ifo son, talakui.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Divine Guidance with Patricia. I'm so ecstatic to bring you a returning guest. Yes, I get them, returning guests that I've really started to connect with and get to know. And that's the beauty and the magic of connecting with each other, the soul like minded, golden hearted people that you can find that really, they deserve to have the space and time to share what they do, to share what they bring to this planet, especially at this time. There's a lot of bringers and not a lot of announcement of it. So I have a wonderful being named Zalah that I'm fortunate to know and get to know better, who has so much stuff. We may not be taking too many breaks today because he has amazing information. And we geared it up for this date because Allah's bringing forward a magical message of Christmas. And everyone knows this year and the last year, but this year again, there's a lot of things going on in the world that some of the magic of Christmas may be missing in your life. So I wanted to bring this beautiful being forward, and hopefully there's some inspiration, some hope, and some joy, and even some magic that can be brought back. So Zala, how are you today?
I'm
So
very, very fine.
here.
Namaste to you, Patricia. Thank you for doing what you do for humanity in terms of bringing light to the world. I honor you and I say congratulations to you.
Thank you. Okay, Zala, you're a very interesting man. It's like watching one of your favorite movies and you watch it the second time and you see something you missed, right? Like you're quite the mystery being. And there's always a different sparkle when I go through your website and I take a look at some of the beautiful things that you're offering. It's amazing. And there's always a new twist within my own being and my own heart that allows my soul to go, yes, somebody gets me. Somebody hears me. Somebody loves me in a very unique, beautiful way. So I know you, but perhaps for our audience, maybe what you can do is, can you give us just a little bit of look at who Zalah is?
Oh, sure. I mean, I'm just an ordinary individual. I'd like to think that we're all walking each other home, Patricia. And so I believe that our power is in presence. Background on me, I'm a father, two adult children, a grandfather, and was in corporate finance for a career. Was shareholder of one of the largest investment firms, for that matter, in Canada. Jumped out of life, went on a 7-year sabbatical of studying under a true teacher, true master. Came back, wrote a couple of books to begin with. And these books are actually for children. They're about children's values and making sure the child has values to not get lost in the illusion. These days, that's a really important thing. So they're meant to be read by an adult, mother, father, or grandfather. grandmother. And they're really good. They involve a lot of, they're short, they're brief, they're simple, but they involve a lot of childlike properties and values. So I wrote those to begin with, and then I started teaching meditation and consciousness classes. I've been doing that, Patricia, for 21 years.
Wow.
And it's only lately that I've just come out of the closet in the last 6 months. I've let my picture be known on the website, and that was by divine instruction. And I'm letting people know that I'm available as we go through this time of excess currently. So I train and I teach adults about meditation and so much more. And so much more about how we're a divine being and we're graced with this power to create. No one would ever doubt that we can create either consciously or unconsciously. And I say it's best to do it consciously. And so I hold classes electronically now because of COVID. And so you can find me at thecft.ca, the CFT. My name is Zalah, Zalah, Zalah. And you can find me there. I'm the head facilitator. We also have trained certified consciousness coaches that have studied with me for 10 years. And they also can coach you individually or in class. So if anyone's interested in advancing their consciousness, that's why we're here. That's why we've been preparing for this very time, the time of the quickening. So there's a little bit about me.
Okay. Jacob, if we could put that promotional link up on the screen for people. And this has a lot of information about your Christmas message webinar that you're doing and a few other special things. I'm not going to tell you about it. You're going to do the work and go look it up and take a great look. And you mentioned something about the books. We're going to do the books a little bit later because I really am interested in hearing a little bit more with these beautiful books that help children and parents facilitate the morals and the conscious attributes of being a child.
Yes.
And knowing consciously the right, the wrong message of promoting their beings in form and growing. And a lot of us are doing that right now with all the changes in the world. Some of us were doing it before. However, now it's become a little bit more clearer in family units because a lot of homeschooling, a lot of families are getting together that did not get together in the past. And so it's making some dynamics and some differences in communication between children itself. So I'm looking forward to taking a look at these books with you in just a little bit. What I'm really excited about is asking you a few questions. Now it says your website and your information says that you were in the financial part of the world and you got tired of selling your soul. Can you give me a little bit more about that?
Well, I did a TED Talk on this, and you can find the TED Talk on my site, and it's going to expand a lot more of the answer that I'm going to give you right here. But basically, most people, they sell their soul for the corporate goal. They sell their soul for money. And once you realize this, you can always get another job, but you only have one soul.
Yes.
And so as a result, don't do anything that causes you to feel unworthy or something that's below your conscience, because I teach that your consciousness and your conscience are parallel. Good thing you have a conscience. That tells you your consciousness wishes to go higher. There's a lot of people that have very little conscience. And so you'll know that you have conscience because it's what creeps up on you. That's my answer to that question.
Thank you. That intrigues me. And I know we only have an hour, but I could sit and talk to you all day long. It's a question for later, but you triggered me to wonder if the consciousness is lacking on the planet. And for those, because we got beautiful beings in form that are asleep. We got beautiful beings in form that are not tapping into their consciousness. And there has been a huge separation between form and spirit for eons on this planet. That could be another show we could do,
I'm
because
sure
it's
we could.
amazing information, isn't it?
Well, sure, because spirit connects to form through breath. When your breath is gone, you're gone. And so as a result, it's a time that we're in right now, which is the quickening, and especially this festive season. And so I've got a special delivery for your audience today about crossing the Santa Bridge with that classic question that all innocence comes up against. And that is, hey, Mom, hey, Dad, is Santa for real? Now, I'm going to address how we get past that on today's show, and that's going to take the majority of the time that you've allocated me. And so when you're ready, I'm going to get right into the teaching on the Santa Bridge, as I call it. And I know you're just going to love it.
Okay. I know. I know when I got to stop talking. So I will graciously keep my questions written down, because I'm going to be interviewing you on another platform. So get ready for those questions then, Zalah.
Okay, I'm here. I'm here.
All right, so let's go. Zalah, is Santa real?
Very, very classic and possibly a traumatic question. Traumatic. So very few people on the planet actually understand the true meaning of Christmas, which actually is a whole different teaching. It's called the Christ in Mass teaching, where we are to celebrate our last contemporary Christ as being in physical form, a Christ in Mass season. And Christmas time itself is a time to understand that true meaning, but I'm not going to cover that today. I'm going to cover the story within the story, which is keeping innocence intact. So Christmas time, Patricia, is a time to engage and practice presence. We all do this, excuse me, naturally, especially on Christmas Eve. Everyone knows that if you're not present on Christmas Eve, you've missed it, because it's not a time to be doing business. It's a time to be with ones that you love and enjoy the DNA of everybody around you and presence. And it carries over to Christmas Day. And it's our benchmark for presence. And this is the kind of presence that is not gift wrapped. It's the other type of presence. And the fact is that if you can do it Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, we can all do it year round. And that's where the magic is. Mm-hmm. And Christmas is supposed to teach us that we can keep and promote childlike properties of enjoying exactly where you're at. And this is where magic is. It's being present. So Christmas is actually about the promoting the power of magic and innocence. Especially this teaching today is for the sake of parents and for the sake of keeping the magic in Santa and the children. I call this teaching Crossing the Santa Bridge. Now, this teaching is extremely sacred for both the child and the parents. And it's a once in a lifetime opportunity to cross the Santa Bridge. All right? It's about keeping the trust, the magic, and the innocence in children intact forever. Right at the Santa Bridge. It's about crossing the biggest, toughest question of a child's innocence, actually. And now I'll say to adults that are listening to this, if there's any small children that are present and listening to this sacred teaching right now, Mom, Dad, we will need to escort these beautiful little precious bodies to another room, as we're now about to get into adult speak. And this is a most sensitive, magical matter, especially of the high holiday. So let me reiterate, This is adult talk now. So mom, dad, if you need to stop the recording here and make sure that everyone's tucked away, now would be the time. Great.
Perfect.
So let's start. So let's not forget Christmas is for children, primarily, and especially for keeping the magic. And as we, as adults, keep the magic encompasses and expands the child in each one of us adults as well. And by keeping Santa extra special and sacred for the children, do we keep Santa extra special for ourselves, the adults, the whole family, actually, for that matter, and it perpetuates into the world. That's what I'm going to teach you on today. So let me state, what's more important about Santa? Listen to my statement. Is it a truth that brings tears and disappointment, or a lie that provides a smile? Well, let me cross this extremely sacred adult bridge here and now and start to conclude, or I should say the continuation of this bridge. Hopefully, you're really going to love the answer to the classic parents' possible nightmare. Is Santa real, Mom? Dad, is Santa real? Now, both the parents should be on the same page on this, okay, as we go forward. Now, I'm sure this classy solution to this age-old classic problem is going to be of interest to every parent. So let's start. A little background. In families, there needs to be a special way of transitioning children from just receiving gifts from Santa to becoming part of the Santa story themselves. What you're about to hear is a magical bridge that can be established to be very helpful to a child's development, gentle transitioning of the question of the authenticity of Christmas and Santa itself, and enhancing this parent-child bond in the process. Let me expand. The following method is where the Santa construct is not a shocking, disappointing, maybe even depressing lie that gets uncovered, but it's a way to harmonize, harness, convert the situation into a magical, unfolding series of actions and good deeds that perpetuates the true spirit of Christmas. Now, that's pretty tall order coming from one question. Now, when the child is 6 or 7 or whenever the adult senses the dawning of suspicion, it's time to get proactive to cross this very important bridge while it's still intact. The perfect time for this is when the child is ready to cross the bridge to a new reality of trust and giving. It's one that's not, again, going to produce disappointment or deceit. The idea of having a very special meeting to make this a very, very special, memorable occasion. Okay? And it's definitely best to be lovingly proactive with the child about this. So if you can get to the child before the other kids get to the child, you've got it, I think, secured. Now, this special moment is going to go down in the annals of family history. Trust me. When the child becomes an adult, the child is going to say, God, Dad, Mom, you did this so good. And wow, it just was beautiful. And they'll probably, you'll see when I explain to you how, perpetuate it to their children. Now, maybe you take your child out to the local Dairy Queen where there's milkshakes and ice cream cones and cookies and various goodies. If you can, get a private corner and start with the following sensitive, intimate, parental chat, looking right into the eyes of the child, perhaps even touching their arm. And you may want to start with, here we go. You know, you sure have grown a lot this past year. Not only are you taller, but I can see your heart has grown too. I've noticed that you really care about people. I'm proud of you. Okay, sidebar to the parents. point out 2 or 3 examples of maturity of caring and behavior in the past year or two, especially where there was consideration of other people's feelings and good deeds. In fact, you might want to say, your heart has grown so much that I think you're ready to hear something you have never heard before. Now, this, what I'm about to tell you, is the much bigger part of Christmas and the real, true Santa Claus story. One that very, very few people actually know the truth about. Sidebar, parents. First off, mom, dad, you may want to do your own research on St. Nicholas on Wikipedia. Go there, spend a little time there. Maybe even bring your laptop as proof as to how this Christmas legend started. Maybe talk about it if you think it's appropriate, but do a little homework here. Maybe start with, there actually was a Santa that started this about 1,800 years ago. That's right. His name was St. Nicholas. Now, is Santa the same as St. Nicholas? Well, it all started with St. Nicholas. He was a Christian bishop who was legendary for helping the needy. And it all started with gift giving by him. And it grew and it grew. And St. Nicholas, well, he transformed into this legendary character called Santa Claus, who brought Christmas presents, especially to children around the world. Sidebar, parents, mom and dad, you can expand or contract the story of St. Nicholas, your call. There's even, if you look at Wikipedia, surprise, there's even a Santa hotline through Wikipedia, 1-951-262-3062. That's right, 1-951-262-3062. Go, listen to it ahead of time. You'll hear Santa's voice, and you can even leave a voicemail for Santa at that facility. Okay, just as an aside. Okay, back in the child conversation. My child, St. Nicholas is only a part of it. In addition to St. Nicholas, there's much, much more that grew and grew all over the world. What I'm about to tell you is one of life's biggest secrets that I think you're not just going to like, you're going to love. And this secret is going to change the rest of your life if you're ready and if you're responsible. But you must be responsible. It's all part of growing up, actually. Are you ready? Sidebar, parent. Maybe wink at the child this magical moment. Maybe that touch on the arm. Okay, back in the conversation. You probably noticed that most of the Santa Clauses you see are people dressed up just like Santa. Maybe some of your friends have even told you that there is no Santa. They don't know what I'm about to tell you. A lot of children actually think that there's no Santa because they've not been ready to be told the Santa secret of what I'm about to tell you. And not only that, their parents don't know because it didn't get taught to them by their parents. So I'm telling you, Santa is a much, much bigger story than all kids. No, I mean, with the odd exception. I mean, like maybe 1 in a million will know. Now, the truth is, I'm letting you in on this much bigger story because I know you're so ready. You're loving, you're responsible. And those are qualities of life, values of life that you just have to have before you get to be even considered as part of this team. So listen closely because this is magical. And because your kindness and because you're responsible and you're becoming more responsible, we notice, you're cleaning your room better, you're doing a whole bunch of things, and you're starting to grow up. You're at the age where you can be actually a part of the Santa team. And I know you're ready to be part of this, but only you can decide if you want to be a part of this team. Now, you must first understand there's only one way to get on this team. You must be invited to be part of the Santa team by mom and dad. And most mom and dads, they don't know that this even exists. So let me tell you the best things about the Santa team. Again, not too many people are going to know what I'm about to tell you. It's a really, really big secret. You know, what does Santa get for all his efforts and all his troubles? He gets milk and cookies and, of course, a very good feeling of having done something good for someone else by giving them gifts. Christmas has always been about giving before mom and dad were even around. That's right. In fact, it's all about life because life is about giving. Life is for giving. Life is for giving. We'll talk more about that as we go on. Really. But now, you're ready to start understanding and even being part of this Santa team movement itself. Now, joining the Santa movement is an offer that, again, I can't tell you this enough, is not made to everyone. You have to be a special kind of kid. And the invitation, again, can only be made confidentially to special children that are recommended by the mom and the dad. You really are, and I know you want to be good, and I know you want to be better, and I really know that you're able to keep this secret. Sidebar, parents, stress this. Stress this, that the invitations are only offered through mom and dads if the child is loving, kind, and can keep the secret. This is the secret.
I'm going to be bad.
Yes.
Because I'm going to say we're coming up to our first break.
Okay.
You want to know the secret.
All right.
Zalah sharing. You have to come back after this break and let us know that you're here. All right. Jacob, you can take us into the next break whenever you like, and we'll just shh. Hey, welcome back to Divine Guidance with Patricia. Such a magical, very, very heart-provoking and spiritual enlightenment story that's being shared by Zalah. I'm going to be quiet now. Let him get back to it. Thanks for coming back.
Thank you. So, sidebar, parents, stress. This is by invitation only by mom and dads. And not all mom and dads know this. In fact, very, very few do. The child must qualify by being loving, kind, and the fact that they can keep a secret. Make sure you keep repeating that this is the biggest world secret and that they are actually in that. They are actually being a part of the Santa team itself. No one can know that they're a part of it. Now, this is, again, stress, responsible children that want to give love. And it has a lifelong membership. Once you're in for life. So tell the child, as this is going to be your first year, we call you a newbie. That's right. Sidebar, parents, P.S. As the parent, make sure you maintain the proper conspiratorial tone of the magic of being part of an exclusive, being an exclusive Santa team member. Keep reiterating this. Again, touching the arm of the child, perhaps a wink, lots of smiles, and you can say, it's really, really quite an honor that you'd be a part of this. But remember, it's one of the biggest world secrets. Can you promise to keep the secret? Now be quiet when the child gives you the answer. All right? Then possibly ask the child to imagine someone they know, a neighbor perhaps, to give a special gift to. The gift would have to be secret so that whoever gets it. Stress that the newbie, the child's mission is to be done secretly, deviously if necessary, to find out what that something special that special selected person really needs. Then the newbie needs to save money save money throughout the year, wrap it, and secretly purchase it and deliver it without being discovered at Christmas time. It should be stressed that the newbie must never reveal to the recipient or anyone else for that matter, of who the gift was for and where the gift was purchased from and at what cost. Being a Santa team member has a lot of responsibility of giving sacredly and secretly. It's not about giving praise for giving, for giving. It's not about getting praise, I should say, for giving. It's about giving secretly, just like Santa. You see, my child, all of life is really about unselfishly giving, especially behind the veil of anonymity, especially secretly, so that no one knows that you gave them that gift. You, mom and dad, we can know, but no one else. Being a newbie, this process of just the three of us, just mom and dad and you, this is called sacred. Now, the newbie must be told that no one could ever know that he's also part of the Santa team. Again, team members don't share their secrets with anybody, not even each other. Only parents know. It has to be kept just parents and the child. Over the Christmas years, the child will choose a number of good people, always coming up with that one that needs a special gift the most. Choosing a unique present for their choice with the money that the newbie, the child, has earned and saved and purchased. Perhaps one year the child may even polish up his or her new bike, or his or her old bike, I should say, put a new seat on it, give it to another child, perhaps a much poorer family, and could not afford a bike. The Santa team child should ask his or her parents before if it's okay if the recipient is another child. Can you imagine the look on a poor girl's face when she sees a bike on the patio with a big bow on it and her name tag on it on Christmas morning? Possibly as good as the look on your child's face, if you think about it. So when it comes time for the next younger sibling in the family to join the ranks, the elder child can come along and help with the introductory Santa movement talk. And so the kids are in on it now. It's not just the first child, but it's the second, and it can be passed down. Then both can turn out to be excellent life givers behind the veil of anonymity. They will never feel they've been lied to, all because they were in on the secret of being part of the Santa movement and crossing the Santa Bridge. So let's imagine the story of a newbie who's been selected as part of the Santa team. Perhaps the newbie chooses the witch lady on the corner to be the first recipient of the child's secret Santa giving process. She was really spooky amongst the neighborhood and kids. She had a fence around her house, let's say. She would never let the kids go into the yard, not even get a stray ball or a frisbee. The witch lady would always shout at the kids to get away from her fence and to not even think about coming in her yard and go play elsewhere. The newbie noticed that when she rode to school with his parents, the witch lady would come out every morning to get the newspaper in bare feet. He noticed she needed slippers. Next, the newbie had to go spy and guess how big her feet were. So he hid in the bushes one Saturday and just observed. He decided she was a medium. Next, he then went to Kmart, and bought warm slippers with his own money that he had earned, wrapped them up, and tagged the package, "Merry Christmas from Santa." After dinner, he slipped down one evening to her house and quietly slid the package under, let's say, her driveway gate. Next morning, he watched her shuffle out to get the newspaper, and she noticed the beautifully wrapped gift. So she picked up the gift and she went inside. The newbie was so excited. He could not wait to see what happened next. Well, the next morning when he was observing, there she was getting out the paper wearing the new slippers. He was ecstatic. So the newbie must be reminded that no one could ever know what he gave because he would no longer be a member of the Santa team. This is what I believe an excellent way to convert the typical Santa trauma question, while being an excellent facility for enhancing the childhood dreams and values of Christmas time, of gifts, and of Santa Claus. Now, this process can and will produce many Mona Lisa smiles and magical stories over the ages from children, their parents, grandparents, and possibly for generations to come. And knowing that, at Christmas, the same principle of giving anonymously is not just at Christmas time, but throughout the year that perpetuates. Imagine what this could do for the whole world, with a whole new generation of children coming up. After all, the children must be greater than the parents in life in order for the world to progress. Well, this is the end of the process to cross the traumatic childhood bridge and convert it into a creative, loving expansion of life values. What did you think, Patricia?
I think that it was amazing. I think that nurturing the children to be responsible, caring, not egotistical in their sharing, brings back the beautiful, beautiful morals of the golden rule and the beautiful morals of spirit and discipline of spirit and the adventure of being a part of a secret Santa service. That's so beautiful. Thank you so much. I like that.
Well, I love the golden rule, but one of the things I teach is one above that, and that is feel unto others the way that you would have them feel unto you, and watch what happens to your life.
Yeah, I guess you have to actually pause with that one. I like do unto others, do unto yourself as you do unto others, because many times we're kinder to others than we are to ourselves as well.
Well, yes. Another one that I really love, if I could, is that the best things in life, Patricia, are free, as we all know. The best things in life are free. And then I add that the best things in life, though, aren't things.
That's right. Exactly right. I like that. I may use that. I like that. So in sharing this beautiful bridge of undoing the programming of children and the fear of them finding something out instead of just being upfront, honest, and leading it into an adventure. I mean, eventually, what do you do with 32-year-old guy that finds out there really wasn't a Santa Claus? And maybe there really wasn't a secret service to Santa Claus. Which one is that guy going to choose for their children now? Because he's experienced the beauty of how his parents presented it and how he got to grow in encouragement with being selfless and using that energy in such a beautiful, positive way. I'm sure even if he does find out, it won't be a disappointment. Perhaps a disappointment is that the whole world should know about your bridge to Santa. That's a disappointment, maybe.
Well, I'd like to thank you for that. I'd like to think that all of us have opportunities, because life was never meant to be a series of challenges that weigh us down and file us down. Life is meant to be, I believe, and this is what I teach as well, a series of opportunities to create. We don't have any problems except the problem to create at a higher level. And we all create, Patricia, either consciously or unconsciously. And what I teach is it's best to look at life as an opportunity to create. And you do that by, when you come up to your wall or your speed bump, I teach a process called HHC. And HHC is called harmonize, harness, convert. So can you harmonize with the child? Can you harmonize with the problems at work? Can you harmonize? Do you understand what's going on? Can you harness the doubt, the worthiness, the little Tasmanian devil inside of you that's, this is awful. You got to be able to harness that and look at it as an opportunity, and then you convert with love. So it's harmonize, harness, convert. And life is a series of opportunities to practice harmonize, harness, convert. And if you do that, you look at life more objectively, no matter what's coming up for you, and you say that you want the best for all concerned, not just you, but the best for all concerned. And there's this divine power that can flow into each of us when we do that.
Yeah, I can relate to certain things in my life with that as well. I just kind of have a problem with the word convert, but that's me, trigger me. So
Can I talk to that for a minute?
Sure.
So let me step on your toes.
I'm
here.
just bluntly honest.
No, it's okay.
I'm fine.
Love, I think we must realize that love converts everything. It converted each one of us from the invisible to the visible, and it's going to convert each one of us from the visible back to the invisible. Love is the magic converter of everything. So to be able to look at life's opportunities with love and know that you want to convert it, because of the fact that love is of the highest order. We're all here walking each other home with optimally acts of love. We're all here walking each other home optimally with acts of love, because those are the moments that I believe take your breath away. They do.
Thank you. I can align to that much better. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I've been told I'm very blunt and very straightforward. So I like to, and had I not given that, then somebody else feeling that was listening may not have gotten that energy that you just shared. So I'm grateful for that. So do we have any time to talk about your books that you brought forward for Christmas?
Sure. I mean, the first two books that I wrote were 2 years ago. I'm sorry, we're 10 years. 10 years ago. Yeah, 10 years ago. And they were really about how to make sure the child does not get lost in the illusion. That's really what they're about. And they have values. They're non-religious, they're spiritual, and they're about making sure the child has got good values going forward. And so I wrote two of them. One is called The Secret of Creation. Yeah, Secret of Creation is the first one, and I believe that it should be read first. And the second one is called Caught in the Act. And it's really about how we get separated. All of us in humanity, we get separated from our divine, and it's time to get connected again spiritually. And we must get connected spiritually in order for us to be stewards of the children, because they're going to be stewards of this world after we're not here. And the idea is that the children must become greater than the parents in order for the world to progress. That's the only way possible. And so the idea here is to not stymie the children, but to love them and let them grow with love by doing what's right and not just who's right with children. So that was my first two books. My most recent book is about the big three. And it's about how we all get taxed on the big three. And it's about spirit trying to get our attention. The big three is where everybody gets taxed: relationships, financial, and health. So if you look at your life, how much are you getting taxed on relationships, on financial, and health? And as you get really reduced, and ultimately health gets reduced, and you're out of here because it's death. And the idea is to get connected from the weight of financial, from the weight of relationships, and from the weight of health issues that are perhaps chronic, so that you go within and say, okay, look up in the sky and say, what's going on? I mean, why am I experiencing this? Patricia, there's a reason why every day ends in a why. We're all supposed to be asking why a lot more. Why am I here? Why am I doing what I'm doing? Why am I not happy? Why do I have these social circles? And if you ask why, and if you don't know the reasons of why, the hows don't matter, Patricia. If you don't know why you're doing something, the hows do not matter.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Also, I've heard why is a crooked letter. So right in the middle of the whys, you're standing there. So yeah, it all comes back to inside. It all comes back to where we were before we even joined this form and this planet. For me, I like the message that you have on the bottom of your book promotions. These two books we're going to get into a little bit today. Save the Children, Transfer the Planet, and Rediscover Spirit.
Yeah.
Like, if anything in the world could be a billboard or what are those big balloons that go around the sky, right? This one phrase should be written in the skies around the whole planet every day.
Thank you.
It's amazing. And I love it. It covers so much in such one sentence phrase.
It does. If you're ready, there's a lot of people who would read that and perhaps they wouldn't get as much value as you just did. But if you're ready, it really stands out because we have to protect the children. We have to look after the children. I mean, look at the population and look at the stage that we're in. Currently, I mean, what are we supposed to do when we can't stop living? Well, the fact is we just have to start living more consciously with the idea of protecting childlike properties. The key childlike properties is what I teach, that we all must get back to. They are called love, presence, a light heart, trust, faith, and outright love. So to be able to have these there's other childlike properties. The observer is a key one. The observer means curiosity. And so we need to identify as adults these childlike properties and keep the kids as innocent as we can for as long as we can. Because it's like Jesus said, in order for you to get to the kingdom of heaven within you, you must have childlike properties. You must have childlike properties. And all of us, we need to find those within ourselves, and we need to keep those within children. You must become like a child to enter the kingdom of heaven.
Yeah. One of the most beautiful childlike qualities that I observe and feel with children is vulnerability. The vulnerability to learn, the vulnerability to have the passion to discover new things, to grow, and that vulnerability, not in an adult, disallows the openness to growth, the openness to love, the openness to it kind of shuts the adult down. I really feel you need to be vulnerable in order to be loving.
You do. They go hand in hand because love has no disguise. Love has no disguise. No one would doubt that a baby is pure love, comes in as pure love. No fear. The only fear a baby has is the fear of falling. Other than that, no fears. They would crawl right to the fire. And so as a result, we need to learn a lot because I believe that babies and children refresh love within each of us. They refresh love within each of us. And we are stewards. These children, they come through us, but they're not from us. We have them on rent. We all have each other on rent for a little while to enjoy life. You have all the members of your family on rent. That's why Christmas time is so important, because you get to a certain age, Patricia, where you realize there's less runway in front of you than there is behind you. And all of a sudden, each Christmas becomes very important. How many Christmases do you have left? I mean, if you take a look at a $20 bill or even a $50 bill, that's not much. Well, I'll tell you, each Christmas then is sacred. Because if you knew you only had 20 left, then how special would it be? What did you wish to say to certain people in your life and do? Mm-hmm. What did you wish to say? Well, the opportunity is yours. What? Because all of us are here and we have each other on rent for a little while. We have all of our property on rent, even though you think you own it. Who are we kidding? Even if you got the ownership certificate of the mortgage or of the vehicle free and clear, you only have it on rent. You only have it here for a little while. And then you're gone again.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we have only 2 minutes left. I love this show. It's not long enough sometimes. The time goes by so fast. So I want to say thank you to you, Zalah. I want to say thank you to everyone who listened in and who will see this show bouncing around the internet for the next 20 years. Merry Christmas to you. And I would like to hand it back over to you, Zalah, if you would like to give us a message to close out. And I really appreciate and thank you for all you do. Namaste.
Thank you. I would say that to be truly alive means to experience each moment richly in the present. There's a difference, between living and existing. Living is to learn and to feel the true purpose and the meaning of life, and to become aligned with love, to become aligned with your spiritual being. We're all here to honor everyone's journey with love and kindness, whether you agree with them or not. Honor others as you would have them and love to have them honor you this festive season. Everyone should be allowed, Patricia, to experience life as they wish. This will slow down your judging if you take this on. And without judging, you become more present. And Christmas is about presence, not necessarily the kind that you wrap. That's what I would say in closing. And thank you very much for having me on your show. I am honored. Namaste.
Thank you, Zalah. And may you have a beautiful Christmas as well. And thank you for all your sharing. Take a look at Zalah's website and his promotional link. I hope you got it during the show. The books have been shared as well. The Secret Creation and Say Caught in the Act. 2 books that you can read aloud to your children and with your children and share that beautiful innocence of childlike wonder and responsibility. So everyone, Merry Christmas, and we will see you in the new year. Thank you, Zalah. Namaste.
Namaste. God bless.
Thank you for listening to Divine Guidance with Patricia on TransformationTalkRadio.com with me, Patricia McNair. Tune in next time to explore more challenges that can help you achieve your whole being. I know we are all capable of truly being whole, and with a little empowerment, anyone can access an entire universe of knowing that is just waiting to be explored. For more information about me and my services, visit divineguidance.earth. That's divineguidance.earth. See you next time, where together we focus on solutions for the whole being.